the weapons, sensors and equipment of these ships for a better solution in future. And secondly, the setup that was part of the project at Karachi shipyard and engineering works for the number 4 ship which is being built in Pakistan, that can be used for further construction. So that this would mean we can go for more capable ships and use our own facilities which are available at Karachi shipyard engineering works for further follow-on ships. So there is a good chance that we take on this option and go for further ships in this regard.
So in continuation of what the Commodore just highlighted, Captain Owais, could you share with our viewers what are the future acquisitions we are looking at?
Well, sir, last year we signed a contract for construction of 2 missile craft of about 500 tons each. One of them is already under construction in China, and the second one will be built in Pakistan at Karachi Shipyard and Engineering Works. It's one of the latest designs with state-of-the-art equipment and stealth features. It will also be equipped with advanced surface-to-surface anti-ship missiles, C-802 Alpha, the Chinese origin missile.
That's very encouraging. So, Air Marshal, coming to the Pak-China cooperation in the Air Force sector, we first had the K-8, the Karakoram 8, the trainer, and now the flagship is the JF-17 Thunder, the pride of Pakistan Air Force. So could you shed some light on that, sir?
The JF-17, the nation must know it has invested well into this project, because it will withstand, it will serve the Pakistan Air Force and serve our national security ends for the coming 3, 4, 5 decades. Here is a weapon system which is cheap, which is effective, which is a supersonic fighter. It is indigenous, so there will be no sanctions by the foreigners on this, especially the Americans. And the beauty is that we can certify any weapon system that we wish. We can buy them, those from the French, we can buy those from the South Africans, from the British, from the Europeans, from the Americans. And of course, the Chinese have given us everything that they have in terms of beyond visual range missiles, the short range missiles, the best of radar that is there, and we are told it is good. And the avionics, the EW systems.
Do we have the license to sell these? Because I believe this was presented in the Farnborough Air Show, and a number of...
Very good question. And a lot of people, the Egyptians had shown interest, notwithstanding the upheaval that is going on over there, probably the Syrians. So the Arabs, the fact is that any weapon system that Pakistan buys, inducts or builds, because our air crew has been all over these countries, so they straight away begin to show interest in it. And who gives an aeroplane $15 million plus, which is a medium tech aeroplane but reaching high tech, and it can be converted into good weapon system with the help of good weapons. So I think people have shown a lot of interest. So Chinese as well as Pakistanis will find a very good market for this.
Right. So, Commodore Asif, let's talk about a different aspect. The Chinese have been collaborating with us on the coastal defense, which is a very major aspect. Could you shed some light on that?
Very pertinent question, I must say. One of our key areas of concern is the coastal defense, and out of that is the air defense part. Now, as you know, air defense consists of 2 parts. First of all is the surveillance part, to detect the incoming threat, and secondly to have the weapon system to take out that threat. Now, in both these domains, last year we have contracted with our Chinese friends, and we are going to acquire low-level air defense radars coupled with remote controlled guns. Now, both these acquisitions are going to be completed this year, and after installation of these systems at our coast, we think that our terminal defenses are going to improve.
Pakistan Navy is in need of submarines, and we have looked at various options, but have you looked at the option of Chinese submarines?
Pakistan Navy is actively pursuing acquisition of conventional submarines. As you know, submarines are the main punch of our fleet, and there is a shortfall in their numbers created by decommissioning of Daphne class submarines a few years ago. We are looking at all available options. One of the options is acquisition of submarines from China.
I think the Chinese AVAC system which we have opted for? That needs a little elaboration.
The viewers must know that we opted for a Swedish system, and we are also opting for a Chinese system. I think this will give us redundancy. The Chinese system is cheap, cost effective, and because the Chinese have the know-how, it is no longer the Chinese poor technology of the 60s and 70s, which was of course the MiG-19, which we improved over time. The Chinese have evolved this AVACs, and we're getting 2 of these aeroplanes with a rotodome on top probably.
And one is probably arriving this year.
One is probably arriving this year. This is a good aeroplane, but ready to be dovetailed with the latest systems that the Chinese are developing. But we must highlight something more over here, if you permit me. Our viewers must know that the Chinese weapon systems, in the backdrop of the Bombay attacks, and when there was fear of a surgical strike onto Muridke and targets like that, these from the Indian Air Force, there were these Chinese F-7s that got deployed in Chaklala, Pindi, Islamabad. When they went round an afterburner, and this was planned, went round an afterburner, what the air chief, and all praise to the air staff at that time, and the present chief of the DCS operations, they straight away achieved 3 national security ends. The international actors, they knew straight away that Pakistan Air Force means business. There were calls coming left, right, and center from the defense attaches and people abroad. The Indians knew straight away, because the Indian air attache and defense attache also probably straight away said they're deploying. And the people of Pakistan, now this was another national security end that had to be met. So this Chinese product, notwithstanding that the JF-17 also deployed somewhere, the F-16 also deployed somewhere, but in terms of deterrence, all these weapon systems are capable of air defense, they're capable of counter-air operation, they're capable of strikes, but of course they have given us a great deterrent capability. So hats off to the Chinese-Pakistan friendship, which has done good to us.
Right. Commodore Asif, the port of Gwadar again has been completed with the help of our Chinese friends, and it's a landmark. How do you rate it as far as naval cooperation is concerned?
If you ask me, the highlight of Chinese assistance or collaboration between the 2 countries in the maritime sector, I would declare it to be the Gwadar Port project. It was through the technical and financial help of our Chinese friends that the first phase of this gigantic project has been completed. I would also call it a strategic development. Now, the construction of this port, which is basically a commercial port, however, also allows Pakistan Navy and gives Pakistan Navy the operational flexibility in a Western arena that we were looking for so long. So this, I must say, is a great strategic development with the help of our Chinese friends.
Captain Owais, so far we have been talking about the technical collaboration and infrastructure and all. What about interaction with the Chinese Navy as far as training exercises are concerned?
Our collaboration with China goes much beyond the acquisition of naval hardware. Actually, we have an enduring and multifaceted relationship with PLA Navy. There is a long list of activities which we undertake together. These include port visits by our ships to each other's country and naval exercises to enhance our interoperability. You might have heard of Aman series of exercise. It's a major multinational exercise hosted by Pakistan Navy. 3 exercises of these series has so far been conducted, and PLA Navy has been one of the most active participants in these exercises.
Air Marshal, one of the aspects of our collaboration is also upper space research, and Prime Minister Gilani is currently visiting there, and I believe we have signed a MOU towards this. How do you rate this particular aspect, sir?
Very significant. I think the upper space research is a weak area in Pakistan. If you recall, there was this satellite confusion, all the story that broke when Pervez Musharraf was the president, and there was that we had to reserve a place in space, and then we bought an old satellite, we launched it there. Whether it is there or not, we don't even know that. But I think Chinese are time-tested friends. We have probably signed a contract for a satellite that they're going to build for us and launch for us. I think this will do us good, and eventually we may be able to preserve a place, because one has to have a point in time and space. One has to have some space available where we can go and put our satellites, and if we don't do that for too long, that place will be gone. So I think this will do overall very good to us.
Right. So, Commodore Asif, could you share with us what are the collaboration efforts to fight sea terrorism, because that we see has become a menace in the near past?
Pakistan has been a part of the coalition efforts against terrorism happening out at sea. We call it maritime security operations. We have been conducting these operations in collaboration with the coalition forces in the areas around the Northern Arabian Sea and the Gulf. But as you know, in the recent years, a significant development has been the Chinese deployment close to the Horn of Africa, that is Gulf of Aden, for anti-piracy operations.
Point taken. So your closing comments.
I think the Chinese assistance has been of high value for us. It depends entirely on our national security leaders and managers how we employ this during war and peace. During peace, for moot war, which is military operations other than war, which is floods, earthquakes, hijackings, and so on and so forth, Pakistan Air Force, courtesy the Chinese friends, can be leading in this. So far as war is concerned, we have just discussed a case when probably the Indian Air Force had deployed for surgical strikes against our crucial targets, and PF responded, and so that a ways whatever Chinese have done for us can be safely and securely employed by the Pakistani national security leadership to secure Pakistan, its people, and the state.
Right. So viewers, with that we come to the end of this very interesting discussion in which our two officers from the Pakistan Navy and the erudite Air Marshal have shared their opinions with us, and various aspects of Pakistan and China naval collaboration and air collaboration has been conducted. Of course, we'll talk about the Army in a subsequent program. But in a nutshell, we draw that the friendship between Pakistan and China has not only been time-tested, but it has been proven time and again. And we don't need to put it to test, because the Chinese are always there for us. Even now, when the Prime Minister of Pakistan is visiting China, the Chinese have offered us an additional 50 JF-17 Thunder, which means a lot to this country, which is currently in a crisis. But thank God for friends like China, we will withstand any crisis. I would like to thank you, Air Marshal, Captain Owais, and Commodore Asif. Viewers, keep sending us your comments at Defense and Diplomacy, and hope to see you next week, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.